Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah and I'm an intuitive eating dietitian. And in this video, I want to debunk a common intuitive eating myth, which is that intuitive eating, being anti-diet, is also anti-health. You may have heard before that the anti-diet movement, which includes intuitive eating and health at every size, or HAES, just means that you get to eat whatever you want, whenever you want it. Or maybe you've heard that intuitive eating is just a form of giving up when traditional diets don't work for you. But this could not be further from the truth. Anti-diet is not synonymous with anti-health. We have been led to believe that being on a diet and trying to shrink your body is the best thing you can do for your health. In fact, this is what I was taught in school to become a registered dietitian, and it's what I practiced my first year as a dietitian. I thought that I was helping people by telling them they should be losing weight in order to improve their health. I did not realize that I was actually doing more harm than good. I then began diving into intuitive eating and HAES, and I drastically changed the way I practice as a dietitian. It took me some time to grasp what intuitive eating and HAES are because they are so countercultural. I had to overcome my own internal bias, and I'm still learning more every single day. But the problem with diets is that they are based on the pursuit of thinness, not health. And health is not a size. You cannot assess an individual's health just by looking at them. Let me repeat that. You cannot assess an individual's health just by looking at them. And just because a diet may lead to weight loss, this does not necessarily equate to improved health in the long term. Plus, we know that weight loss as a result of dieting actually is a really big predictor of weight gain. And we know that yo-yo dieting and weight cycling are actually more harmful than just maintaining a weight over a period of time. Diets also tend to negatively impact our mental health. Feelings of shame and guilt often come about when we fail a diet, even though the diet was set up for failure to begin with. Our relationship with food is often impacted, and chronic dieters can no longer trust their internal wisdom to make empowered food choices. Instead, they're relying on a calorie counter app or certain diet rules, which takes away from them honoring their body's hunger and fullness cues. But the point of this video is not to talk about why diets don't work. I actually have a whole other video on that, which I will link below. But I think it's very important to revisit that conversation whenever discussing the health benefits of intuitive eating, because the anti-diet movement does get some crap for not being health promoting, even though it absolutely is. So if intuitive eating and HAES aren't diets, and they aren't just like eating whatever you want, whenever you want, what even are they? Intuitive eating is an anti-diet approach to building a healthier relationship with food. It teaches you how to find satisfaction in food choices. It is a fight against diet culture and the diet mentality, which many of us are really caught up in. But the concept of making peace with food and having unconditional permission to eat any and all foods is often misunderstood. While you have full permission and you technically could eat donuts and pizza 24/7, as you become more attuned to your body's interoceptive awareness, you'll realize it does not feel very good to eat that way all the time. But thankfully, as you allow these foods time and time again and you increase the exposure, these forbidden foods will no longer seem so tempting, and you will be less likely to experience what's called Last Supper eating, which is where you eat the food in large quantities because you think it's the last time you're ever going to get to eat them. But if you know you can technically have pizza whenever you want to have pizza, it really removes that emotional charge from the pizza, and you're less likely to experience that Last Supper eating with that type of food. Intuitive eating is also more than just eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full. Some individuals, especially those wrapped up in diet culture, will call intuitive eating the hunger and fullness diet. But there are many moving pieces to hunger and fullness. Are you stuck in a diet mentality that makes you think you feel full when you actually aren't? Have you accepted your body shape, or are you convincing yourself that you're full so you can shrink your body? Are you actually feeling biological hunger, or are you using food to numb a certain emotion? Have you shut down your hunger and fullness cues due to years and years of chronic dieting? These are all rhetorical questions, but it's helpful to see that there are many different things that can influence our hunger and fullness. I think it's also important to mention that intuitive eating requires a weight-neutral approach. Focusing on the number on the scale, which is an external source of information, is going to make it very challenging to tune into your body's internal wisdom. As you work towards food freedom, you might gain weight, you might lose weight, you might maintain your weight. Your body is going to want to settle at its set point weight, and it's going to fight to get you there, and this partially explains why diets don't work. Your weight truly is not a very important determinant of your health. So instead, it'll be helpful to focus on health promoting behavior changes and let your weight kind of be a side effect of that. And lastly, to kind of explain intuitive eating and why it's not a diet, I want to note how intuitive eating does not have any rules. You can't do intuitive eating wrong. But like I keep saying, it does not mean that we are just going into a free-for-all and eating whatever, whenever. Intuitive eating does have 10 principles, one of them being honoring your health through what's called gentle nutrition. Gentle nutrition is this part of intuitive eating that is often forgotten or misconstrued, especially by critics who are saying that intuitive eating is just eating whatever, whenever. But like I said, this would not feel very good. And intuitive eating is meant to feel good. Gentle nutrition encourages practicing healthy behaviors like eating fruits and vegetables, drinking your water, but doing it in a way that isn't rooted in diet culture. Remember, you don't have to eat perfectly to be healthy. You will not suddenly get a nutrient deficiency from eating one particular snack or meal. Even a full day of eating won't impact your health that much. It is much more about what you are eating consistently over time. So now that we've discussed how intuitive eating is not a diet, let's talk about how it actually can still improve your health. First of all, intuitive eating promotes equal care and respect for all bodies. An anti-diet approach accepts the inherent diversity of all different body types. Because again, you cannot assess someone's health by appearance or body size alone. Not to mention that weight stigma and weight bias can also lead to increased stress and also result in individuals not seeking out healthcare due to mistreatment as a result of their weight. And not being able to receive the care that you need is obviously going to negatively impact one's health. Next, intuitive eating has a focus on health-promoting behaviors. This is where I always point out that our weight is not a behavior. Your weight is an outcome of your behaviors. When you focus on these health-promoting behavior changes like eating more fruits and vegetables, finding joyful movement, drinking your water, your weight is going to be a reflection of these changes. It may result in weight loss, or it may not. It is very important to be accepting and non-judgmental about whatever happens to that number on the scale. You don't have much control over your weight, but you do have a lot more control over your nutrition and exercise habits. Intuitive eating can also lead to increased energy. When you finally start eating the amounts of food and the types of food that your body actually needs, you will find that you have more energy for other aspects of your life. Diets, on the other hand, are physically and mentally draining. They leave you undernourished and feeling inadequate. Intuitive eating has been shown to improve physical health measures. It's been shown to lead to improvements in cholesterol levels, decreased blood pressure, increased physical activity, improved eating behaviors, increased self-esteem, and decreased body dissatisfaction. These are all very important determinants of health. Intuitive eating can also lead to an improved relationship with exercise. Intuitive eating encourages viewing exercise as a form of self-care rather than just as a way to burn calories or shrink your body. As we become intuitive exercisers, we only do the exercise that we actually enjoy, and you'll find that you don't feel guilty for taking a rest day. And because you'll be doing what you enjoy and getting adequate rest, you'll find that you'll be able to consistently maintain these movement patterns. Lastly, intuitive eating can lead to improved digestion. Stress can have a really negative impact on our gut health. This can lead to constipation, diarrhea, and a host of other GI issues. And this includes the stress that we get from food, which is often a negative side effect of being on a diet. Eating food should not be stressful. And as your food stress and food anxiety start to improve, and you give yourself permission to figure out what foods make you feel good, you may experience less gastrointestinal symptoms. So unlike dieting, success with intuitive eating is not going to be measured by how many inches you lost or how much you weigh. In fact, these habits can take away from you becoming an intuitive eater. And when we first start intuitive eating, this can seem really scary because we don't have a number to equate to our health. But over time, as you find food freedom, you will notice many changes in many areas of your health, including physically and emotionally. If you are wanting to learn how to eat intuitively, my membership is now open where you can join a community of women on a very similar journey. This membership includes monthly live trainings, new weekly recipes, challenges, Q&As, and exclusive podcasts for me to help support you on your journey. I am also working on revamping the Nutrition Reboot course, which will guide you through the principles of intuitive eating and give you steps along the way. So I will link to both of these down below if you are interested in joining either of them. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me in today's video. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it, if you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe so you can always see when I post new videos, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.